So, people aren't very happy with the new Kill the Justice League game, and I'm a little confused as to why. What's up, my fellow tea drinkers? It is me, Samushi169, and welcome back to another commentary video. As you can see by the gameplay, I'm not actually playing Kill the Justice League, mainly because I can't really afford it right now, so I thought I might as well play one of my favourite games. So, while I do that, why not discuss the controversy that's surrounding Kill the Justice League? Now, of course, a lot of you may know that Kill the Justice League is a new game made by the developers Rocksteady, who were, as you know, one of the biggest developers behind the Arkham universe. Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight, all of which I think are very, very good games. The second one especially, I remember picking it up when it first came out. I think it was Boxing Day. I was only 14 years old, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. Exploring the city of Gotham was just amazing. It was so much fun. I completed as much as I could. I never really got any of the Riddler trophies, but, you know, that's besides the point. I just wanted to get enough so I could save Catwoman and anyway, that's besides the point. So the reason we're talking about Rocksteady is because they have been developing for a long time. I think it's 7 years this has been cooking in the oven. Kill the Justice League. Now, there was a lot of hype surrounding this game because it was the same developers as the Arkham universe. Everybody knew it. Everybody wanted to see a really good Suicide Squad game, and the idea of going around and actually killing the members of the Justice League was a very intriguing concept. Now, of course, when this was first slated, everybody thought it was going to be a single-player game. It was going to be like maybe a 12 to 15-hour experience, but then details started coming out. We found out that it was live service, that there was going to be loot elements to the game, and then suddenly the hype train just hit a mountain and exploded. Nobody wanted this game anymore, and I think it particularly hit when they had to delay a whole year of the game coming out after they showed off gameplay, and everyone was like, oh my god, this is bad. And Rocksteady were like, okay, maybe we need to work a little bit more on this. So it took a year. They put it back in the oven, they cooked up a couple things, and now they've come back. They said, alright guys, we've listened to you, we've worked on a couple things, we've taken out some things, we've put in some things, we've kept some things. What do you think? IGN then played it and went, oh dear, this isn't very good, is it? Now, of course, they didn't outright say that it was a really bad game. They just said that they played for a couple hours and they didn't really enjoy what they saw, but they were hopeful about what the game might be for its final release. And inevitably, it did come out. And yeah, it's not been it's not been doing too well, has it really? So the game has been sitting quite reasonably well in terms of reviews. I think it's sort of like around the 60s and 70s at the minute for like normal critics, but the user critics and the user reviews and the things that you see on X make it seem like this is the worst game ever made. I mean, I have seen people who are obviously massive fans of the DC universe absolutely slamming the game based on its presentation and the way it shows off the Justice League, about how the disrespect that it shows towards the characters based on the Suicide Squad behaviors. And I kind of want to go into that because there are a couple things that I don't necessarily agree with and some things that I do agree with. By the way, just in case you guys are after, there are going to be a couple spoilers in here, so if you're not interested in hearing any spoilers, you want to play in the game, I am going to be spoiling a couple of things from the games, so if you're not interested in hearing that, click off the video now. But if you don't really care or you've already played it, let's discuss it. So, at one point, the Flash obviously dies. Boo-hoo, very sad. And then Captain Boomerang, because he's an asshole, pisses on his body. Now, in my opinion, that is actually kind of funny. I mean, it's something that I can imagine Captain Boomerang would do. He's an eccentric Australian arsehole who kind of just does what he wants to do because that's his, like, you know, that's the way he wants to do things, and that's just his character, right? I can see him pissing on a superhero who has stopped him from doing things in the past after killing him, right? I totally see that. But not a lot of people do. A lot of people think that that is disrespecting the Flash character. And guys, listen, he is a supervillain at the end of the day. He has been a villain for as long as everybody remembers. Just because he's part of a Suicide Squad or just because he's now the protagonist in this game doesn't mean he's going to automatically be a superhero. He's still going to have his villainous traits, and if that means pissing on a superhero who used to dominate him 24/7, I think I can kind of see why he would do that. Now, of course, there are a couple other things. They obviously bring in about multiverses, which is, I think, is a little bit played out at this point. I would agree with that. I do think that it is basically an excuse to just keep introducing new characters like they are going to do with the Joker later on in the year, and also 12 other Brainiacs. Like, Jesus Christ. But there is one thing that I do want to discuss that I think is rather important to me, and that is the fact they kill off the Arkham universe's Batman. And it's not the greatest. It's not awful, but it's not the greatest way they could have summed up the character. Now, obviously, in Arkham Knight, he hangs up the mask, and it is a very fitting end to that Arkham Batman character. And basically, in this game, he gets brainwashed, and then Harley Quinn shoots him directly in the face, and everyone's like, oh my god, I can't believe the weakest villain to fight Batman is the one who ends up killing him, even though I do think that's kind of a good feeling of dramatic irony, but I do understand why people would be upset by this. I do think the Arkham Knight game series was a fantastic way to finish off the trilogy, and to sort of kill him like this is a little bit uninspired. Now, I understand that obviously Kevin Conroy did end up passing away while this game was being made, and maybe that could have contributed to how they ended up killing him off. I don't know. Maybe he could have had something a little bit more dramatic if Kevin was able to say some more lines before his untimely passing. I don't know. This is all just speculation, but I'm just trying to think for reasons as to why they might have done something like this. I'm not saying it is absolutely why they did it that way, but I do agree that it is a little bit unceremonious and not the greatest way of sending off that character. Now, of course, there are other characters who do have a better sending off. Wonder Woman, I think, has a great send-off. She sacrifices herself to weaken Superman for the Suicide Squad to actually kill. It is a little bit weird how the Suicide Squad end up taking up all the superheroes with guns and machine guns. But you know what? It's a Suicide Squad game. Who cares? It's a game. It's not... Obviously, in a real life situation, Superman would just completely demolish them. But look, it's a video game. Who cares? I love Superman. I hope we get a good Superman game soon. By the way, Rocksteady, if you want to do that, please, can you make a Superman game? Please make a Superman game. I just want a Superman game. Anyway, back to the problem at hand. Yeah, so a lot of people are very upset about the discourse, and a lot of people are upset about how the characters are portrayed, and ultimately, they don't really like the Suicide Squad. And listen, it's a video game at the end of the day. Rocksteady are going to be making their own decisions because it's their own universe. They are the ones who make the rules, and if you are upset about that, that's absolutely fine. There was a moment in the game where King Shark actually gets a hold of the Green Lantern ring and starts putting it on, and then everybody starts getting, you know, really like, oh my god, try to get it off, get it off, get it off. And there's a point where Shark's about to come towards and eat them, but luckily they managed to take it off at the same time. And a lot of people were very upset because they said, oh, they don't actually understand the lore of the Green Lantern ring. I'm going to be honest, neither do I. I just thought it was a really cool scene, and if they want to do their own thing with the Green Lantern ring, I don't really care, and I don't think Rocksteady really care either. I think they're just having fun with the concept of the different superpowers. They just want to try different things. Different universes can have different rules. We don't necessarily have to follow the rules that the comics set out for us. You know, we've got our own imagination, we've got our own ideas, we've got our own thoughts. Why not put them into our own creation? I don't think we always need to necessarily stick by the exact rules, okay? There are exceptions to this, of course, like Batman can never use a gun, or Batman can't kill, or Spider-Man can never kill either after the incident that happened with his Uncle Ben. There are like basic rules, but when it comes to rules about how the Green Lantern ring works, I don't think that's as extreme of a rule that needs to be followed. I think they can be a little bit more flexible with that. But yeah, the Justice League game is being slandered down the water. I'll be interested to see how it's going to develop over the next couple of weeks and a couple of months as well. I know they've got lots of DLC coming up. Whether they're going to be able to finish all that DLC or not, I don't know, but I will be interested to see if this game ends up picking up. And hey, I probably will end up buying it when it becomes a little bit cheaper, and I'm going to see how the gameplay is myself. I'm not a massive fan of looter shooters myself. It's not really been my thing. I never played Destiny. I never really played Anthem. It's not really my style, but if it's on discount and I've got a little bit of money left in my account, maybe I'll pick it up and see how it is. But so far, I'm quite interested to see how Rocksteady are going to handle the IP, but I mean, it's all up for speculation, and we really don't know. Anyway, guys, I'd be really interested to know what you think about this whole situation. Do you think Rocksteady have made a pretty good game? Are you upset about the changes they've made to the whole DC comic book lore that's been established over a couple of years, a couple of decades? Or do you just like that they're exploring and trying out new things? Do you think the hate is pushed? Do you think the negative outlook is pushed by comic book fans that are too protective of their IPs? I don't know. I'd really like to know what you guys think. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Feel free to let me know what you think. I think it's a really interesting subject, and I'm going to be keeping track of this for the next couple weeks. Absolutely, I will. And as always, guys, if you enjoyed listening or watching my gameplay, feel free to like, subscribe. It does me the world of good. Feel free to check out my Discord and my Twitter handle that's also down in the description. And hey, it's always good to hear your opinion, even if I don't agree with it. Thanks for listening, guys. This is Samushi169, signing out. Bye!